Hello faithful viewer, we meet once again to talk about Doctor Who. Shocker, I know. This is Mac. He's new. That's fine because we're going to get into Doctor Who all the same. I asked him who he wants as the next Doctor Who and he said Danny Dyer because everyone's a fucking comedian. That wasn't funny. 5 years ago when we made this video. Wow, didn't those 4 years fly by? I'm getting in that video just below the belt. Let's talk about who the next Doctor Who could and couldn't be whilst there's still time, because this announcement could happen any day now. If it happens whilst I'm editing this video, I will rope. So okay, discounting the obviously bad picks, by the way, those are David Mitchell, Richard Ayoade, and Danny Dyer, from Rupert Grint and Benedict Cumberbatch as well. The usual suspects. The usual Daily Mail, Radio Times listicles, yeah. People who still think that'd be a good match, I kind of want to visit that parallel world for a bit and then you see like how obvious and painful it would be, or how we've just killed the series for a quick joke like Danny Dyer. Richard Ayoade, I've no quarrel with, but just general geeky Brit is not enough, and that's totally the problem that Doctor Who casting has fallen into. To outsiders, that's the show. I got all of Richie's books. He'd be fun in a Doctor Who episode. But let's get him on writing, directing, if we can book him at all. So now you know who has the bad taste. In terms of good taste though, don't worry, I'm here. Some picks don't change. Adrian Lester would still be dream casting for the show, as anyone who's watched any of his Shakespeare or Hustle. If anyone remembers Hustle.
Honestly, do you think we could do what we do if he wasn't looking for an edge? If he wasn't looking for something that gave him an unfair advantage over everyone else? No. It's his greed that makes him fair game. All we do is feed that greed.
We've had a Doctor among us the entire time, and he probably should have been the one to shoulder the revival when it came back. Last time, I'm also sure I said Dev Patel. Then I watched The Green Knight, and I want him as far away from Doctor Who as possible for his own good. He's so much better than us. Plus, you could always watch 2020's David Copperfield, and he's done it. Oh no, just remembered my actual least favourite pick. It's Eddie Redmayne. Not only do I have a hate boner against this man, and also sometimes the regular kind, the man should be paying Matt Smith residuals. So no, I don't want to see another discount Matt Smith performance without all the nuance. If you have ever suggested Eddie Redmayne legitimately for the role, I'm going to be joining you on the naughty step. Why am I on the naughty step? It's because I'm going to break my own rule. Ben Whishaw would be great for Doctor Who. Yes, so yes, he's guilty of exactly what I just said. He's Q in Bond, for fuck's sake. He's a twee little British twink in that. He's already Doctor Who, you may say. Yes, but then I watched more of his stuff. Surge came out last year, late on Netflix, and it blew me away. He's a really scary actor who's been typecast as feckless British nerd, and he shouldn't have been, because he gets across genuinely crazy and unhinged so naturally. He carries that film. So I would absolutely take Ben Whishaw if he was allowed to go somewhere very, very different with it. Or Paddington Bear. But then again, you don't need Ben Whishaw for that. Just get Paddington Bear to be the next Doctor. I don't see what's so complicated about it. He is real, and I have his phone number. So those are my two picks, probably too big for Doctor Who. I guess, in a way, you could say, oh, the next Doctor will be just around for a bunch of specials. Hugh Grant was the big runner, and in my opinion, still kind of might be, if we have just some specials to get started first. I could see a John Hurt caliber actor lending themselves to Doctor Who to get this big racket up and going again. Doctor Who needs all the help he can get. I think Lenny Henry could have been really good, but we spent him, didn't we? Even so, I tried to keep my standards in check. I tried to stay realistic about what a TV drama, a fairly big cultural export, but still treated like a mid-scale drama. What kind of actors could they book? Turns out most of the time, Channel 4 talent and comic actors. I don't know how we got here. The 80s are still ongoing, aren't they? If money is no question, I'm getting Hayley Atwell or Lily James in a heartbeat. Before Hayley Atwell rocketed to the moon, she was actually in Doctor Who, Blood of the Daleks. I don't remember a single thing about Blood of the Daleks though, so I couldn't tell you whether she was good or not. Probably too big now, but my brain always flies back to the episode of Black Mirror where she can make me cry like that. So, yes please. Lily James is, again, doing Mamma Mia rounds now. Hollywood has her deep, I'm sure, but if you did want to come down to our level for a bit, I would be over the moon. Problem is with that, And I always say, who do you want to be the Doctor? Lily James. In my head, she's already the Doctor. But isn't she very similar archetype-wise, visually, to Jodie Whittaker? Yes. And that's the annoying thing. Personality-wise, what I want next from a Doctor is a flower child. I want someone who's a bit lighter and ditzier. I've totally moved into that as my new favourite kind of Doctor. And Jodie Whittaker, for a little while, 13, was shaping up to be that Doctor. It just didn't happen. And now, because of the casting of Jodie Whittaker, I worry about whether it will ever happen again. But a thought I will echo is that I really do want an up-and-coming unknown more than anything else. Hard to cast, though. Definitely harder to talk about. So let's talk about some A-listers. Idris Elba does not need Doctor Who, but his name comes up constantly because we still think it's 2011. Hypothetically, I think he could, and I think he'd be a better Doctor Who than James Bond. In that alternate reality, Idris Elba does have a sort of like weird, wacky energy to him that really gets to come out. If you're going to do a quirky Doctor, Jesus Christ, don't get another Eddie Redmayne type. Get someone like Idris Elba to do quirky and you'd have a lot more fun. Exact same with Tania Miller. She would be excellent if she doesn't do the exact type of Doctor you're probably thinking in your head. The bald badass with the flaming fire sword? Boring. Okay, not the fire sword. The fire sword's probably sick as hell. Getting another hard-ass Doctor played by an actor who's known for hard-ass roles is just, it's dull. That's how you end up with the fugitive Doctor. Get Tania Miller to be like girly and funny. Come on, just give them something different to do. And I reckon you'd have really interesting takes from these famous actors. They don't have to be typecast per se for them to be good for the Doctor. So yeah, that'd be my dream picks. We've got Hayley Atwell and Lily James and a fun Tania Miller. But most of all, Adrian Lester, yeah. Where did he go? Is he still in things? And then, of course, David Tennant. I imagine them in the office down at Radio Times headquarters, and they've got the front cover for David Tennant is the 14th Doctor. They've got it ready. And no matter how much they try and make it happen, I deeply hope the person who suggested that gets fired from their job. Jesus, this turned into an intense video. The real kick in the teeth is that for years I've been saying I want a cowardly, anxious Doctor. And then David Tennant brought that exact description to life in Around the World in 80 Days. If David Tennant was going to come back, I'd want him to be Phileas Fogg from Around the World in 80 Days. So again, he's done it already. That itch is scratched. And plus, he keeps reinventing the 10th Doctor over on Big Finish. Every time you see him, he's playing a new take on the 10th Doctor, and it's really interesting. It's the guy from Class, and Ollie Alexander, and Lydia West. We need to talk about them, don't we? Obvious shoo-ins considering it's Russell, but I'm in the camp of firmly thinking they wouldn't hold enough authority in any given scene. It's not a hard and fast rule, and they're great actors, but I've struggled to see how the Doctor could assert themselves in a situation, but knowledge or charisma or authority. But the difference between Matt Smith and Lydia West is that Lydia West is cast down. She plays kids still, whereas Matt Smith at the same age on TV was playing grown adults and doing sex things with Billie Piper. So I think it is valid. And plus, Russell has such a great lineup of actors from all of his dramas that it's weird to zone in on these two. So, the usual suspects have changed a bit since last time. The last video I made on this topic was embarrassing and didn't age well. 12 male Time Lord faces, and then suddenly at the end, one random female one would come across as out of place, and we'd look back at it on the future as pandering. Look, it's been a long couple years. But isn't it time to open the net further and go for a Doctor who isn't white? Really just throw the door on the neoliberal Chibnall era on the way out. Sorry, buddy, you squandered Joe Martin. You squandered Joe Martin. I still want Joe Martin. I want Joe Martin as the Doctor. There could be any number of timey-wimey bollocks to make it happen. Just, you got some dream casting, and everybody loved it. You got the first person of colour Doctor right. Sorry, Peter Davison. You already got it right on the first go-round, and what, now we're just going to let it collect dust? We already know that big elements of this era were improvised and added as they went along. Upon seeing the massive cultural reception to Joe Martin, why did Chibnall not change course? Though, of course, it hasn't aired yet. We don't know who the next Doctor is, but so that sucks. Okay, I put it to the forum. Let's read your takes. There's going to be a lot of Googling involved. Adrian Lester. It should be Adrian Lester. There's not a better actor working in Britain. Tell me he'd do a bad job. Jack is a man of taste. Seth Lucas Hines gives us Andrea Riseborough and Sarah Snook. Oh, it's her. Excellent actress. Super generic face. There's range there though. And honestly, I think that female actresses need the role a little bit more right now. Not just to retroactively balance the scales, but also because female roles in British television are so fucking limited and dire. Unless you like moody cop dramas, there is not a place for you. Maybe you can play a mum. You could point to any working British TV actress, and I'd want to see them play a more fun role in general, just to see, let them have fun finally. Except Jodie Comer.
This is so boring!
It's just one of those faces I can't stand, I'm sorry. Paul Higgins and Jessica Hines. Oh, Jessica Hines would be a bold one. But good, balancing drama and comedy that's what Doctor Who gets typified as. Doctor Who, not Rory Kinnear. Yeah, there's just something about him. Michael Sheen. Matt Berry. Have I ever told you my strong disdain for actor Matt Berry? Continuing on. Jules has put together the listicles choice, an amorphous multi-headed blob called Tilda Dick Taylor to Patama Hiddle Richard Ale Waller Brennan Tiddler Beshaw. Actually, to be fair, that one's pretty sick. I know I shit-talked Colin Morgan earlier, but he was amazing in Belfast, wasn't he? Just... Visually, I've had enough David Tennant, Matt Smith types to last a lifetime. So somebody with a different frame, a different build, a different silhouette, please. Benedict Wong. Yeah, that'll do it. Another person in the Black Mirror Hall of Fame. That's where I get a lot of my favourite picks too. Robert Carlyle, on the other hand. David Thewlis. Maxine Peake. Gwendolyn Christie. You fall out of Star Wars, you end up on your feet in Doctor Who. That's how it goes sometimes. Oh, but Ben Daniels is a shocker. Yeah, no, I googled him, obviously. I'm having to Google half of these names because I'm terrible with actors' names. But that's the kind of casting I think these days would make everyone take a step back and be like, oh, shit, okay. Another old white man. The optics on this video, Christ. I'm starting to think Chris Marshall isn't a real person. He just exists to us Who fans as a punchline. No, not a real actor. And also Tom Ellis. Surprising. Yeah, might be a bit too dashing and obvious. Doctor Who is a hero role that can fill a couple archetypes, but only a couple. Otherwise you do start going into parody territory. David Mitchell. Yeah. No. I mean, no. Patterson Joseph does have a big, funny, goofy face, like most of the classic Doctors actually now come to think of it. I'm not saying there's no acting in Peep Show, but him and David Mitchell, save them for the comic relief parody, please. Like a best. Charles Dance. This person suggests it as someone who should never touch the role because they're just too much money and obvious master material. Yeah, but sometimes I like to do a thought exercise where I take the Doctor actor and the Master actor of an era and then I swap them. And the results are funny and interesting and maybe what this show needs a bit of. Tell me it isn't just me when you imagine a fan cast Doctor and you just imagine them like running around in some like ultra stupid Doctor Who generic clothes, wagging a sonic screwdriver. No actor can pull that off, let's just say that. When you cast the Doctor, I don't think you're casting a character, I think you're casting a vibe. Ooh, Rocky Thakra. I do love her. She's currently playing Bliss over on Big Finish, genuinely one of my favourite audio companions. But is there enough there to entice someone to go, oh yeah, that's Doctor Who? In her case, I might say no. Mike Wozniak, Sally Hawkins and Hugh Laurie. Famous, yeah, but obviously if we're discounting that. Again, Hugh Laurie, David Copperfield. Wozniak is something, but Sally Fielding, yeah, no, I absolutely totally see that actually. It's going to be different to see female actresses explore different parts of the Doctor. I like different kinds of Doctors. Philip Hawkins has shown me... Oh, it's Lawrence Fox. I heard he was running a greyhound breeding centre last time I saw him. Good on him. Katie McGrath, yeah, it's time to get the Irish in. The Irish are invading this time. With Merlin and the CW under her belt, she's about right for us, let's be real. Plenty of nerd properties under her belt. But if we're going to go to Ireland for the new Doctor, and we should because Brendan, then surely you just get someone from the Derry Girls cast. Specifically the one with no neck, or the wee lesbian. Thought. Or a Doctor. Uh-oh. I also have a massive crush on Tara Lynn O'Neill, so she's my new number one. Pencil her in for the role. Otherwise Bad Wolf Studios will not hear the end of me. Let's get Davis for 14. You don't know I'm not. Imagine if I made this video shit-talking the rest of Britain and then... It's me! Hello! Ramesh. He does act. Ramesh? He does act. I'm really thinking about it. I think I like it. That's my crack cast. I have no rhyme or logic to me. Big Nasty. Pfft. Again, the Nasty Doctor is already canon. Up there. Tharies is in the chat. And he suggested Carl Urban. Tom, that's just upmarket Danny Dyer. And Jedward. So that ends the popular votes. Although I'm starting to think now like Jedward like conjoined being, or maybe two separate entities. Or... Okay, I'm sold. I'm sure we'll find out any day now. I just want someone who surprises us. In the same way Russell T Davies returning was a genuine, actual surprise. I want someone, whether it's a new up-and-coming or someone we never even thought of before. We're still in the era of Tumblr casts, if you get what I mean. We used to say, guys, Britain has more than 4 actors. But now that the playing field's been even and anyone can be cast as the Doctor, it's still kind of like the same 11 names. And I noticed since last time our standards have gone lower as well. Which I'm going to say nothing about. Nothing. Nothing at all. Look, I'm sure whoever ends up in the role, they do an amazing job. You can't judge a performance till you've seen it. People do have variety. But going by my luck, chances are I've already mentioned them. And it'll be the take that ages the worst.